Well, I'm pleased to be joined today by Laura, one of our recent graduates from the Recalibrate Wellbeing program. So welcome, Laura. How are you today?
Hello, yeah, I'm good, thank you. Yeah.
So let's start by at the beginning, because it's always a useful place to start. So thinking back then, Laura, to the beginning of the program, even before the program was there, you had that day or the advertising went out about the program. When you think back now and reflect around that, what was kind of motivating you really back then to want to kind of enroll in the program in the first place?
So for me, I came back from maternity in January last year. So I think coming back to work was like a huge change for me. I kind of had like my own well-being and my exercise and thing. Getting back to, I was okay when it was maternity because I could go out for walks, but coming back to work, you kind of get back into the office and you're sitting at home and not really going to get that exercise or eating healthy because you're getting back into your bad habits again. And then part of that is that with the ambassador side of things, like the Wellbeing ambassador, it really interested me because I do like to help other people. I like to think I'm a good listener and things like that. So it just really interested me that I could perhaps help others in the office to do the same, as well as helping myself.
Yeah, lovely. And it sounds like some of the motivations there were to, of course, get yourself back into those helpful and healthy habits and utilising the program to help you do that. But also, in your case and within your organisation, there was also the opportunity, as you said, to extend that training and become a wellbeing ambassador, and that interested you as well, and that was part of the motivation, it sounds like, as well.
Yeah, it was.
As well as going through the online program, which is what you and your colleagues were doing as well. There was also what we call the coach-led support program. So there was that added accountability, wasn't there, once a week, where you got the opportunity to connect with colleagues, but also to be led through the program by myself, to really create that added accountability. And how did you find that?
Yeah, I mean, I think it motivated me more having yourself each week and making sure that I was attending them meetings, because if you do have any questions, then you was there to ask them, and also going through with the other Vinci colleagues as well. Just you felt like more of a group, and that you was all kind of motivating each other to carry on. And I think the way that I kind of work, I think I was more likely to join the meetings than to try and do it myself. So it kind of made it a bit more motivating for me to do that.
Because you could do the program, of course, you could go through the program just online, can't you? And that was what we were encouraging you to do, was to progress systematically through the program, the 12-week program. But also we added in that accountability, which was good. And I love the fact that you picked up on the way that it encouraged people to connect as well within the organisation. So people experiencing the same journey, the same challenges, issues, and so on and so forth, get a chance to reflect around that.
Yeah, and I think especially with like the 1% challenges as well, and having the different options, it was always interesting to speak to other people, whether it be through email or Teams or something, where you'd be catching up with everyone just to see what everyone else was doing. And I suppose a little bit of competition as well, like how well have you done this week, or have you actually done your challenge? So yeah, it kind of brings up a good rapport within the office as well.
Yeah, that's great, isn't it? And those 1% progress experiments are designed to keep people in that action phase of change. And we know that people will learn best and retain that learning best when they're actually doing stuff, when they're acting. So yeah, those 1% progress experiments were really helpful to connect people with their challenges as they went through the program. Probably at least 3 or 4 times each week you'd hear me say, it's progress, not perfection. It's not about these once in a lifetime kind of transformations. It's these small, tiny kind of experiments. And then the self-compassion, being kind to yourself and saying, okay, well, it didn't quite go according to plan, but let's reflect around that. What would I change if I could? What would I do slightly differently? How would I approach it? What do I need to do next time if the same circumstances arise, and those sorts of things? We can always reflect on it as well. But yeah, I agree. once we connect with those and once we experiment, as long as we're attempting it, we're either going to win or learn, aren't we? We're never really going to lose. And that was that priority mindset sort of kicked in. As you say, that little added competition as well was good, wasn't it? Absolutely. So what then, when you reflect around perhaps the benefits, the general or overall benefits, what were the overall benefits that you've kind of personally experienced from attending the Recalibrate Wellbeing program?
I think you just mentioned it there. It is mindset. I think it just makes you think a little bit more about what you're doing throughout your day, and just having them little conscious thoughts about, okay, so I'm going to have a break now. I'm going to go make sure that I go outside and have that 15-minute walk, or have that just a bit of a movement medicine break and go for a little walk around, even if it's just around the house. Little things pop up in your head that you've remembered from doing the program, and you think, right, yeah, I am actually going to follow that now. Yeah, I feel like it's really helped my well-being, which is really good. I've really enjoyed it, actually.
Brilliant. And it does sound that it sounds like your well-being and what that means to you is kind of just a little bit more conscious now versus then before the program. Would that be kind of what you're saying, something like that?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I think just having my son who's 2 now, and then just being at home, you kind of you're so busy thinking about so many other things that you kind of do just forget yourself sometimes. So it kind of just brought it back to me, like, actually, no, I need to take time to go for that little walk, or to eat something healthy, or do something that I wouldn't have normally done before, rather than just running around like a mad woman.
And that's a really lovely reflection, Laura, that idea that it sounds like that you're prioritizing your well-being slightly more now than you did before. And do you know what, as a well-being coach, it's certainly one of mine. It's probably my number one objective, is that, you know, I hope that by week 12 people are prioritizing their well-being more than they did at week 1, and it certainly sounds on that reflection that you have that mindset shift of prioritizing your well-being a little bit. So okay then, so you know, knowing then what you know now about the program, what would you say then to perhaps a friend or a colleague, or anyone in fact who might be thinking about enrolling on the program?
I would definitely encourage them to do it. I think you probably get a few people that are skeptical about doing things like this, and having to think about themselves and their own well-being. But I would definitely encourage it, because it makes you change how you kind of do things and how you think about things. So I would definitely encourage people to take part in it, even just to see what it was like. And it is, as I said before, it is completely different to how you think it's going to be. It's not just thinking, go and do exercise, or you've got to eat healthy. It's got a lot more background knowledge to it, and how you can kind of build your own well-being, kind of make yourself feel better and more motivated again. I think I've probably said that a few times.
Yeah, I love that. I love that reflection, the idea that we can you know, it's okay to pause and reflect around ourselves from time to time, and perhaps we might not necessarily notice where we are and some of the habits or behaviors that we're employing. We might not even be aware of those. And what the program does is it encourages us just to pay attention to those things, as you're saying. Lovely reflections again. Thank you so much for that. And okay, so I ask this question, and it must be at least 2 or 3 times a day to anyone that I get a chance to ask, but I'm going to ask you now, Laura. What does optimal well-being really mean to you?
I guess it is just taking away that little bit of stress from like the work and your home life, and just having that moment to kind of be yourself. And I think at the beginning I probably said just having that little bit of getting outside and doing that little bit of exercise. I think that for me, that's my optimal well-being.
I love that. Just taking a moment out for yourself and to be yourself is really nice.
And that it's okay to do that.
Yeah, isn't that powerful when we start to like reflect around that? It's okay to prioritize us. It's okay to pause and prioritize me. You know, I'm a busy mum, I'm a busy kind of professional. It's okay. So yeah, back to your point, you know, if people are thinking about joining, well-being isn't being told what to do. And hopefully that's not what you experienced on the program.
No, not at all. And you've got choices as well. I think just having that choice of what your 1% experiment's going to be really helps that.
Yeah, and it gives that autonomy, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It gives you the power of choice. But listen, lovely. Thank you so much for your reflections, Laura. And feel free to again jump on the program again, because you have access to that program now for the entire year. Once you complete the 3 months, or once you start your account, so you still have access for a year. So you can go through the program a number of times if you choose to, which would be great. But thank you again for your experiences and your reflections today, Laura.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks. It's been a great experience. So yeah, thank you for being there to support us.
Nice one.